Okay, so our class today is not for long. We'll just solve the exercise was from the slide, and also another one is the one I gave to you. This one I'm not sure from which test two. Okay, so we are going to start with the exercise from the slide. I already solved with you the value of the indirect cost and direct cost for week 16 and 15 and 14. So supposed to be you are the one making solve for 14, 13, and 12 using this AON. So all I want to ask is like if someone found the solution, so you could share it with us here, and I'm going to show to you the correct answer for it. Any? No one finish it?
Yes.
Wow. I give you an excuse maybe because you are making the assignment.
I already finished it, sir.
Okay, so what's your answer? What's the optimum time and cost for delaying the project? Is it 14, week 13, week 12?
Week 12.
Week 12. Okay. So let's see that for
Week
exercise.
13. Week 13.
Okay, perfect. It's not week 12. So week 13 is the correct answer. With what cost you finish it?
Do you mean the total cost?
Okay, so yes.
For week 13.
Yes,
1760.
correct. So this is the optimum time and optimum cost that you are going to pay for the project to be delayed. Yeah. So just to see how is the AON for from the sketch from week 16 to week 10. Uh, this is what I have done with you in the class. So you can see from this is the AON, and when you are going to calculate the total direct cost, the essential ones came from the question itself, 680. So when you change the duration to week 16, as from week 16 to week 15, this is the values that you are going to use. 4 days, 1 day, and 5 and 2. So your total cost, the direct cost, is going to be 720, and this is for week 14. The direct cost of 790. So from your task, you're supposed to start with week 13. So it's supposed to be this is the number of the days that you are going to do for the. Okay. And anyhow, after you are making all the costs and you are going to direct, this is what you are going to get at the end. This is the table, or this is the table that you are going to use to make the graph. Remember that we need to come up with the graph. The graph will show you the direct cost, and one graph will show you the indirect cost. So it's up to you. You want to make the graph or you want to make it in a form of table. So we are looking here at the total project cost. So the total project cost for week 16 is 1,880. Week 15 is 1,850. It's decreasing. Week 14 is 1,790. Still decreasing. Week 13, it's 1,760. And when you start with the week 12, you're going to see that it's the cost start to increase back again. So 1,790. So that's means your optimum time needs to be finished this project, or so we can crash the project to week 13 with this optimum cost that we are going to pay for 1,760. So I hope that it's most of you it's came up with this answer. Okay, let's see the mostly the second question, which is in somehow it came from test two, but I'm not sure which semester is this. So here is talking about the ammonia plant process, and during the final schedule for constructions phase, there's a request from Petronas as the owner of the projects. Project manager need to fasten or to crash the project's compilation. So they want it to be fast a little bit. So the project manager identified one of sub-project that can be rearranged to reduce the duration of the project. So all the information inside the table 2 here, and the supports and the cost and for each activity. So this question is asking for 3 things in here. First, you need to construct the AOA or the AON diagram. For me, I'm going to make it as AON, but for you, if the question is asking for AOA, so make it as AOA. But for me, when I solve it, first time when I see, my mind is reading AON, so I make it AON. But of course, when you solve it, you need to use AOA diagram and find the critical path and the time. The second is asking you to determine the crash cost per day for all the activities from A to H. C, you need to identify the optimum way of getting 20 days delivery time and find the project cost. So the first one, we need to create the AON for this. So creating AON, okay. So For me, I have made this one is in form of AON. It's my mistake. And somehow it's the same in the same way. Okay, so first we arrange the activities based on that and based on the predecessor. This task is easy. It's now is like creating the AON and came up with creating the time. So in our case in here, it's activity A, starting of course from 0, and the duration is 7 days to be finished. 0 is going to be equal to 7. Activity B also starting from 0, and it needs a base. So here is going to be 3. So when you go for activity B, starting from the 7, and it needs about 4 days to finish. So here is going to be 11, and you go for activity C, it will start at 3, and also activity F starting at 3. So activity C is 3 days. So here is 6. Activity F 7 days. So it's 10. Then if we go for activity D, so it needs 2 activities to come out, which is G and E. So here is going to be 11. This one is 11. We're not taking 6, we're taking the highest. So activity G is about 4 days. So it's 15. And activity E is 4 days. It's 15. So the last one is activity H. So we are taking the highest, we are not taking 10. 15 with 9 days. So here is going to be 24. Okay. So when we complete this one, we start for the backward chain. So here is going to be 24. So here is going to be equal to 0. So here's 15. So this is one of the critical path. So we take here, it takes about this to here to come up. So here is 15. 15. 15. So this one is 0. So here's 11. 0, 0, 11, and 0. This one, the difference is 5 days slack. So 38 is 5 days slack. So in the case in here for this one is 11. So it's going to be here is 11. So this is 0. This is 7. And this is 0. Since this one is coming here, so this is going to be 11, 8, 5 days legs. And when you come up here, this one is 7. This one is 0. And 0, 0. This one will take 8. So 5 days legs. 5 and 5. Okay. From these questions here, so it's mean it's my critical path. It's going to be A, T, E, G, and H. So this is my critical path. The path is A. Remember that you need to write it, because when you write it, you are going to have a mark for it. AD, E, G, and H. The time that is going to be taken for this one is 24. This one they are talking about 24 days, right? Yeah, 24 days. Okay, so this is part A from the question. Okay, the second part of the question, they're asking you to determine the crash cost per all the activities. So here it's really easy. What you will need to do, you will just take the information from the table in here. You already have the normal cost, and you already have the crash cost, and also you are having the normal day and the time day, the crash time. So you remember that the equation to calculate the cost per day, it's crash cost minus the normal cost over the normal time minus the crash time. So this is equation. So we are going to add one more column here to calculate. So I'm not going to do this one by one. It's just only I already have it here. Okay, this is what you are going to do. How to calculate? We are using this equation here. Okay, crash cost minus the normal cost over the normal time minus the crash time. Okay, so you are getting the crash cost for all the activities A, B, C, and D. E, because it has a 0, so there is no crash time for it, so there is no crash cost. So F, G, and H. Activity E cannot be crash. Remember that activity cannot be crash. We are going to use this one for the part of the questions. Okay, so I think now you can determine the crash cost per day for all the activities. So the last thing in here is how we need to identify the optimum of getting 20 days delivery time and find the project cost for that. So remember is what I said, it's at the beginning that we cannot crash activity E. So what we need to do in here is just let's use let's write our path first. Remember from the previous, it was the original one, 0 and 7 days. This is for 7 days. And activity B, it's 3 days, 0, 3, 3. D is 4 days, 7 and 4. It's 11 here. Activity C is 3 days. So this is 3, so it's going to be here 6. Here is 3. Activity F is 7 days. So it's 10. activity E is 11, and activity E is 4 days, 11, 4, 15. So 15, the 9 days, here it's 24. Okay, so now we need to make this to be crashed to be 20 days. So how to do this one? We start, since we are having this AON. Okay, so we back in here from the beginning. We are going to say that I want to crash this one to be 20 days based on the question. So of course is the duration for activity H is 9. So this means I need to make this value here, it's I need the values to be getting in here from activity E and activity G here to be coming as 11. Okay, remember that I cannot crash activity E. I cannot crash activity E because I can crash time or crash cost. So I cannot crash it here. Okay, so to make this one is we start from just write the values. Like in 07. This one is 7. This is 711. And this is 4. When you put the numbers, you are going to see the clear picture here. This is 11 and this is 4. This is 11 and this is 15. And this is 4. This one is 03. 3. 6. 3, 7, and 10. This is our original matrix, our original AON, but in a after way, our objective here to have the last activity to be finished at 20 days. So how we can get this? So what we are looking for now, we can look at the activity A and looking at the activity B. So this is we can crush, or activity C, or activity D, or activity H. This is the activities that we can. So A, B, C, D, G, and H. Remember that I cannot crush activity E. But actually, we are going to exclude activity B and C. Okay, we are going to exclude activity B and C because activity B and C in here, they are going for activity E. So whatever I'm going to change in here, there are changes in there. So what we are looking for first, we are looking at activity A and activity D, G, and H. Okay, so we will start and we are going to look at the table in here, and we are going to crash cost, and we are going to start with the minimum crash cost. So since we are saying we are taking activity A or activity D and activity E and H, we are looking at the minimum cost. So the minimum cost for activity is for activity D, it's 70. So activity it can be crashed to 2 days. So I can crash it 2 days. So here is going to be equal to. See how it's going to be looks now if I crash for activity D. So here is going to be 0 and 7 days, and 0, 3 days, here 3, and this one is 3 days, so this one is 6, 3, 7, 10. So activity D, I can crush it as I said for 2 days. So this one is going to be 2 days. So here is going to be equal to 9. So 7, 2, is going to be 9. So when it's 9, I'm going to take the highest value. I'm going to take 6. So it's going to be here, it's 9. 4. Okay. So here also is going to be 9 and 8. So it's going to be here 13. And this is 13. Okay. But still, I cannot do this one because 11. And I want to get 11 and 9, I will get 20. So this means crushing activity D, not enough to make this one to be equal to 11. So I need to make this 2 equal to 11. So now actually what I'm going to do here, I'm going to look at the figure in here for the AON. So let's say I'm going to crush activity G because activity G can be crushed, right? Activity G can be crushed for two days. Okay, so this one is going to be here is equal to. But here, can I crush activity G? If I crush activity G in here to be equal to, so of course here I'm going to get 11. Okay, but here I cannot crush it. Why? Because activity H also it's depend on activity E. So it will take the highest one when it's coming in activity G. So what we need to choose in here, maybe I'm going to choose to crush activity A. I can choose to crush activity A, or I can crush also from activity H. What you need to do from here, both of them, you can crush them. Actually, you can crush H or you can crush activity A. But it's the final answer for you is to see how much direct cost you are going to get from that. If the direct cost by crushing activity A it's going to be the minimum, or crushing activity H is going to be minimum, or crushing 1 day from A is minimum and making 1 day from H is minimum. Okay, so for me, I already tried to crush for both days, 2 days from activity A, because activity A here can be crushed for 4 days. So I can take 2 days. But when I try to take the activity A, it's to be crushed for 2 days, I get the cost is high. So I crush from A and 1 day from H to get the minimum cost. If I crush 2 days from activity A, my cost was equal to 960 something. But when I crush 1 day from A and 1 day from H, the cost is reduced. So it's, you have to try actually. But since you know the way, I will just make it as the correct way in here. So I will crush 1 day from A. So it's going to be here. So instead of 7, it's going to be 6. So it's going to be 6 in here. Activity B 0, 3, and 3. So here is 6. The 2 is going to be 9. And see here it's 3, 3 and 6. Here is 3, 7. Okay, so here 8. We are making here, this one is 8 and 4. So this is going to be 12. So this one is 8 with 4. It's 12. So that's mean my case in here. I give up that. Make this one is 11 and make them 12. So that's mean I need to make this one is 12. If I make this one is 12, that's mean I need to crush the direction from H. So here is going to be 8. I crush 8. And here is going to be equal to 20. Okay, so what you have done in here now, it's you need to see your total cost. So your total cost, what's the total cost for your projects for the normal cost? So you're going to make the total up of this. So it's equal to 880. Your total cost $820 plus the crash time that you make. So you crash activity A for 1 day. So activity A, the cost for crashing it per day, take it from the table here. Activity A to be crushed 1 day, this is the cost. So back here, you crush it here 1 day, 33.33 ringgit per day. Plus, you crushed activity D for 2 days. So you crush activity 2 days. So how much activity D per day? Activity D per day, it's 15. For 2 days times 15. And the last one, you crushed activity H 1 day. So how much does it cost for activity H per day? It's equal to 22. So plus 22. So this is going to be 905.33. Okay. If you didn't crush, remember that I told you that if you take the decision TA for 2 days and didn't crush activity H, so your equation will be equal to like this: 820 plus 2 days from A crush, 3.33.33 plus 2 days from D. So you will get the answers about 916, something like that. So the cost is still high. So it's the easiest one is to cut or crush 1 day from A and 1 day from H. So you will get the minimum cost in here. Okay, so this is the type of the questions that you may face at the test 2. I'm not sure yet about the questions is coming. So it's one table, but all the objective in here for A, B, and C, they are related. So when you are solving like part C, you need to take some information from the part B. So as from here I'm taking the project cost, and here it's based on the crushing activities for each day and day. Okay, so the type of the question is coming, and this is the final answer. This is how to do it. I hope you will understand it. So if you don't have any questions, please, so this is the last thing for our class today. If you have the questions, please do ask. I will give you your attendance for today. It's here.
Sir, I have question.
Okay. So in that case, take care yourself and stay safe. There's no weekend for you. Please try to submit this by tomorrow so I can give you the carry marks for test one and assignment one. Okay. Thank you all. I see you inshallah for the class on Monday.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're very welcome. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Bye bye. Take care. Good morning.